Morning. Let's do a bit of a stealthy shelter today, shall we? Right, I'm going to stick it up with a ridge line, but I'm only going to use this loop and that loop. Missing the centre one, not using the ones on the edge. So just the two loops. So they'll be, what, 5 foot apart. You can run it through this one as well, but it won't be sort of load bearing or doing anything, so it's not really worth it, to be honest. Just the one either side. Right, just going to do a quick hitch on this tree. You'll see why later on. Just a simple sliding loop, plenty strong enough. Right, just to stick the line through that one, and it's going to go through that one as well. I'm going to go round to it because I don't want to walk on the tarp. Through there. That's it. That's that bit. I've just gone with a simplified trucker's hitch. I didn't film doing it. I'm sure you've seen it. If not, I'll stick a link to the video where I did it in the top corner. Right, as you can see, 2 loops. I passed the ridge line through. Just put the prusik knot on, tightened them out, simple as that. And then on the tarp itself, what I've done is peg each far corner. I've left this side up, which I'll show you in a second, and this side I've pegged down. Let's have a look round. So as you can see, that's the corner pegged, the other corner pegged behind me. The last loop on what would normally be following the ridge line is dangling down because I haven't gone to the edge, and I've just pegged it to the floor. You get a bit of a V here, and when you close both ends, I suppose if you could look at it from above, it would look a little bit like a star, I suppose, because it does come out at a point each side. So when both ends are closed, it's quite short in the centre. It's 5 feet. But if you lay in it diagonally, so you've got, head towards one corner, feet towards the other corner, there's actually a lot of room. And that's only if you do close the other end. With it up, there's a lot of room. So let's have a look at that end. Right, so that's this end. Like a standard A-frame shelter, really, because I've got it pegged up. I have to slip one of my tent pegs through there. You could use a bit of wood, whatever you like, really. You can leave it open like this. You only really need to close it up if the weather is horrendous. I'll show you what it's like closed in the end, but before I shut it down, let's move the camera here and you can see what the inside's like. Well, I don't know whether you'll be able to tell from there, but this is the pegged down piece in the middle, sort of where my head is. But the corners go off a good 2 to 3 feet in either direction. So like I said, if it's closed right up, if you sleep through there, there's actually plenty of room. As it is, if I get my head to there, at the end, where's my feet? Yeah. Looking at it with the end propped open, it's about 7 foot-ish along the roof there. So with an open end, if the weather's not really horrible, leave it like this, loads of room. Plenty of room for one person, a load of gear. You could sleep 2 people in there quite easily. When the end's up, and it's because it's longer, you can have a person each side and they can put their bags and whatever up into the corners. The only thing I would caution, under a tarp like this, with it pegged down fairly tight all round, no ventilation, 2 of you in here, you're going to get a lot of condensation. But it's better than being out in the rain, isn't it? You can deal with a little bit of damp in here rather than being out in the elements. But for one person, I've used it for, you know, myself like this, no problem at all. Hardly any condensation with the end open. Right, let's close him up. Right, if you want him closed, pull the peg, and then you can transfer that peg to the centre loop. Don't know whether that's quite in shot. Let me have a quick look. Oh yes, you would have seen that. So that is with it closed up. As you can see, that, you know, looking along the ridge, it's only 5 foot on the ridge, but you've got full length down either side. And if you wanted a lot of room, of course, you could just sleep diagonal. Depends whether you're solo or with someone else, how tall they are, you know. You just need to make it fit. Maybe while it's in the down position like that, I'll take the camera inside and you can have a look. Now I hope the angle and everything's right of the camera, because it's right up in the corner. It's a bit of a challenge filming inside somewhere like this. But as you can see, laying down diagonal, my head's a good 2 foot, I suppose, from that corner, and my feet the same, 2 foot or so from that corner. Loads of extra room. If I was to go to the short bit, it's still doable. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm just about brushing here. It's no big deal really. You could always move the peg out a little bit further, so it's more like that, shall we say, to give yourself that little bit of extra room. But it's very good closed up for keeping rain out, wind out, and I suppose retaining a bit of heat. Just need to look out for the condensation if there's 2 of you in here. But apart from that, it's a nice little setup. Right, I suppose to finish, I'll go back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video and why I tied that simple loop on the first tree. Now let's just say, for the sake of argument, you were camping somewhere where you shouldn't necessarily be. I'm not saying you should do that, but I have been known to do it. The reason for the simple loop, this end, if it was daytime, you was already set up, and you saw someone walking in the woods near vicinity, and you thought there was a chance you might get spotted. Now there's less chance you're going to get spotted, and once they've passed, you just take it to the tree, tighten him up, your shelter's back up. Haven't had to move any pegs or anything. You'd have to be nearly walking on top to see this when it's flat. If they're, you know, walking over there somewhere, drop the shelter, I'd be on a tree. Stealth camping, it's adults hide and seek. Thanks for watching, guys.